Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Mortgage Heroes Weekly Podcast. I'm Andy.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Will.
So this week, the guys and I are going to talk about these 4 articles, and we're going to rip them apart a little bit and give you some insights on what's going on locally, but also maybe some national stuff. It's really national being made local. Let's put it that way. So,
okay.
First things today, guys, we got homebuyer demand pushes mortgage applications higher even as interest rates inch up again. This one's from CNBC.
Of course.
And then we have a trio of Housing Wire articles. We got mortgage rates, inventory, and demand rise as price cuts fall. Mortgage rates tick up ahead of FOMC meeting, and high costs and emotions are driving age-in-place preferences. Pick this one for our viewers that are a generation ahead of us. I'm not going to pretend.
We did Gen Z last week.
We did Gen Z. We did Gen Z.
We're booming into action today.
We did Gen Z. We talked about that. And now we're going to talk about the other end of where we're at. And let's see what that article brings us. And
the end.
I have no insights on that one, guys.
Yeah. So first up today, you guys, we got homebuyer demand pushes mortgage applications higher even as interest rates inch up again. And I'm going to highlight inch up again. These are not wildly going through the ceiling like they were. They literally are inching up by the most smallest of bits and increments. This one came from CNBC. Average contract interest rate for 30-year fixed rate mortgages with conforming loans balances increased by 0.03%. It's almost nominal, nothing. It's very small. So has this changed anything for you guys here locally yet?
No, it's just headline, right? It's just
it is. No, 100%.
It's just headline. What are we talking about this? Okay. It's just a little bit.
You're saying they're shy on content? Is that what you're saying?
Probably. I mean, I don't know.
CNBC?
Same old here. It's like it's going to change your payment. I mean, if $1 million, it'll probably change it maybe $50, if that.
80 cents a day. Yeah.
80 cents.
Hell yeah. Call your loan officer. Refinance.
Yeah. So applications to refinance a home fell for the week, but they were also lower the same 1 week ago, or lower than the same week 1 year ago. Let me get that right. But it didn't really seem to deter home buyers, is what the takeaway was from this one, who, after the holidays and also seeing kind of the highs of the fall 2020, they're like, hey, this is kind of a range I can do, and I'm back in the game.
Again, it's just that FOMO, right? It's the beginning of the year, so it's just a little bit. It just increased a little bit. So people, little. So it's like, it's not going to deter the person like, okay, I'm not going to buy it right now because of that. It's just, I think what people have listened to is last year's comments from the Fed.
Yeah.
We're already going to, do a rate cut 3, possibly 4 times. Mm-hmm. So I think that's actually in people's head right now is that's what's going to happen. So I'm okay to still stay in the game right now, apply, and just kind of put myself in a better position.
And earlier we were having a conversation, and I feel that 2022 going into 2023, there was a lot of uncertainty, not knowing what was going to happen with the Fed, the government, rates, and whatever the direction of the market. But people went through a whole year. We kind of got an idea of what happened, the ups, the downs. We got a really bad October. We touched the hot pan. We didn't like that. And we started digressing. Rates started to come back down into the end of the year, only to start spiking up a little bit. But I feel that the difference is that people already have last year in their belt. So they already know how bad it could get or how bad it got. And now I feel that their situations and, their life circumstances is prompting them to, make a move, take a move. But at the same time, these rates are just headlines.
Yeah, no,
it really
exactly.
doesn't move anything.
At the same time, it's not bad. It's kind of like, okay, cool. And, as the article says, it's like it didn't deter people. Yeah. I think 2023 was just a very difficult year for a lot of people. And just the mindset of adjusting, trying to understand and, understanding that new cliche that came out. Don't marry the rate, marry the home. Yeah. I think that's something that really resonated in people. And now they're actually understanding the true value behind that.
Yeah. Well, and mathematically, a lot of people were eliminated just because affordability was like the lowest in 40 something years. I don't remember. It's one of the previous episodes. I don't say 42 years, but something like that. I don't know. But I think that what you're seeing is you're seeing behavior come back, and people are like, okay, well, if this is where things are going to settle, this is where the dust is going to settle after all this, then I have a decision to make. And so what I think I'm starting to notice, and the data doesn't really say this so blatantly, but you can kind of put pieces together. I think people are coming off the fence because they're like, fine, you know what? I wasn't going to get it in 2023. I am determined to get into a home, so I'm going to try right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
And also the tonality for which people look at housing now has also changed. Hey, I'm going to live here, then I'm going to really live here. Yeah. I'm not just trying to buy a place that I'm going to sell in 12 or 24 months. This isn't the market for that. This is for the long-term buy that you're going to hold and either live in it yourself 10 or 15 years, or you're going to hold it for still that long, and maybe at some point it turns into investment for you.
I mean, Andy, it's a little bit of everything. I mean, right now we're talking about long-term hold. As a matter of fact, I like to go through this actual true situation we're in right now. It's a property in Paso Robles near where there's a lake and then there's ocean. But the property has a cracked foundation, and you can totally tell this is a totally rehab, right? Like you have to renovate this property. If you look at it, you're like, whoa, this needs a lot of work. Anyhow, $550, client submits an offer. We're doing hard money on this. In this case, we just got to counter back. Are you willing to go up to $640? You know, higher. We're between $640 and $650 right now, pretty much, because they can't really disclose where you're at. But it went up $100,000, guys.
What?
Just like that. And the property needs about 110, 120. So that's where we're at right now.
Wow.
It's crazy, you know? And this is for an investment property, not an actual somebody that's going to go in there and occupy.
Yeah, it's not an owner-occupied deal.
And that's just to tell you, if investors are going that aggressive, it's just kind of telling us where they feel the market's going to go. Because obviously these people, this is what they do day in, day out as well.
And I think this is something that we should probably like really be blatantly clear about with people who are looking to buy a house is you are in the arena with these people.
Yeah.
They have the money, they have the investor, they have the deep pockets, and they have the, the tenacity or competitiveness to go and try to outbid you.
Yeah.
And that is what's happening in some cases. It's not all cases, but this is a great example. Glad you brought it up. Didn't know you had it in your back pocket for today. But this is going to be happening. Yeah. You're going to see bidding already happening between people who are trying to buy for their owner-occupied house. But then you're also in the room with people who are like, I'm buying this as an investment. Mm-hmm. And we had a comment. We had a nice little exchange with somebody in comments a couple weeks ago. You know, are talking about, house prices need to have a 40% correction. Yeah, okay, I can maybe mathematically agree with you. However, someone's going to step in with money at 20% off and 25% off before you get to 40, and you will have a chance at it based on your theory.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying the theory is wrong. I'm just saying the behavior ain't going to play nice.
And I agree. I mean, I agree with them. It would be nice to see a 40% correction there.
But what would we do?
Can you give me 3, 4?
What would we do? Everyone would come. We'd come in.
Exactly.
I'm interested at 20% or 25% even. But so I'm not going to see 40.
But even then, like you just said, as soon as it drops, oh great, you just made it even better for the investors. They can come in with more money down and overbid everybody out.
And then there's the flip side of that coin is you got this place that needs a bunch of work. It sounds like it's got a lot of serious work that needs to be done. You're talking about it needs $110,000 work.
Who has that?
And they do. But also
who's they?
100% or $100,000 more than what the list price is. So now we're talking about $210,000.
Correct.
And then still it means that the value upon completion and repair is still north of $1 million. So there's enough scratch in the game for them to do that still.
Yeah. And for investors, they're like, as long as I'm profiting and it still makes sense for me, it doesn't matter if I'm profiting X, Y, or lower or higher. They're profiting.
Yeah.
No, not lower, higher.
Lower, higher. Yeah, no. You said, earlier, like, the highs and lows of 23. I'm like, no, there's just highs and higher.
Highs.
Highs and higher. There it is.
High and high. Well, no, absolutely.
The interesting thing also here is that, like, we had been seeing already at the turn of the year, now that we're at the end of January, you look at all the end of quarter 4 data has been coming out now, and from November, and you start seeing December data start coming out about housing, and it's like, listings started coming back up. Buyer applications started increasing. Interest rates are down. It's like all of these things are steamrolling.
Values are going up.
Yeah, values are holding and going up. And it's like, I don't even know that we're going to get through the winter before we start having spring activity. I feel like we're seeing spring action.
I heard spring's here already.
That's what I'm saying. I think we're seeing spring action now, and it's like it's January. We still got a ways.
So I have HomeBot, right?
Yes.
It kind of tells me on a regular basis, on a weekly basis, where we're at. And my house that I bought back in 2012, it shows right there, it's gone up 159%. I was like, wait. Are you serious like that? And then the other property that I bought, actually, it's crazy on the zip codes, right? 91914, where I currently live. Yes. And then 91913. 91913 was only 129. Only 129.
129,000.
Dang it! Where's that 30%?
129%.
But I bought that. Mind you, I bought that back in 2005.
You had that one. Yeah, I was saying you had that one a lot earlier, though.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? Right now, if you're buying, a lot of people, here's the rent versus buy. You know, oh, my rent or the payment's going to be higher. But the thing is, you're investing in it. We can say in 5 years, you'll probably make about $150,000, $200,000.
Yeah, easily.
So what are you going to tell people right now when they're qualifying? They're coming to you guys and they're saying, hey, look, I want to buy a house in 2024. What are you telling them as far as like rate range? Are you saying, hey, look, let's qualify you at today's rate and then maybe a 0.5% higher or a quarter? Like
No.
What's the range, guys?
For me, like for government right now, it's between 5.875, depending on your credit score, 5.875 to 6.25. And I always tell them, like, listen, I don't want to have to be approving you, so I'm just approving you at the max. So I'm going to be at 6.25, right?
Yeah.
Low
Everything
credit score.
Yeah,
it's like a 6.21 or something like that. The last one I did, but anyhow, I just kind of give them an idea, and I tell them right now the rates, they'll change drastically. And on day in, day out. But for now, just keep it at that. And I give them that calculator where they can actually figure out what their payment's going to be. So when they find a home, they can just plug numbers in. Yeah. Oh, okay. I want to pull the trigger on this or not.
Similar, that loan comparison worksheet's been coming in handy. How many years have we been using that now?
You know, it's been a long time.
I think 2009 or 10.
Yeah, it's like 9.
It's been a long time.
And payment it's scenarios.
I love how simple it is.
No, and similar to what William said, I think
good creation.
Yeah, it's still going hard. I still use it. No, but similar to what William was saying, I like to give the clients the education of how rates move, and then put them with the tenno, because then they understand what's happening, and I'd let them know, like, hey, this is the reason why rates are moving, but I'm also going to give you the data so that you could also see what I'm seeing, basically. And I like to take them through a best case, worst case, and then a missed case scenario, so they have the range of all the payments. And then at the end of the day, I tell them exactly like William, it could go up, it could go lower, but at least now you know where all the range of the payments are going to be.
Yeah, you get into the worst case scenario. And obviously, you know, we do follow the market conditions, we see where they're at. Yeah. So when we are locking a rate, we're not just flipping a coin and thinking, oh, today's the day.
Hey.
No, we got to analyze all the information before we make an informative decision.
So on this topic of like home buyer demand, you know, coming back and more applications coming in, I know we have more escrows that are opening already. Yeah. You know, what are some of what is like a behavioral change you started to observe, or maybe a mental shift, mentality commitment people have made? Like, what are you already seeing now that you think is going to be trending through the whole year?
I think the mental side of it is now they're understanding that the rates do go down. I think when people are first getting in, they're thinking, hey, the rate's going to be like at 7, right? 8, like it was in October. Now they're understanding that's not forever. So now they're truly believing themselves that, oh, okay, you know what? You're right. The rate will go down. 6-8 months, we could revisit the conversation. I'm kind of going into this with the worst case scenario of being able to carry the cost for 6-8 months, see where we're at. But at least now I know that if I can carry that cost for the next 6 to 8 months, even a year, when the rates go down, it's going to make it that much easier for us. So maybe they stick to the dollar menu at Jack in the Box or McDonald's like I did when I first bought it. You know what I mean?
It doesn't even exist anymore. It's like the inflation menu.
Yeah.
You want to look at look at inflation. Look at the dollar menu. It doesn't exist anymore.
The last part, at least for my thoughts on this one, for this segment is, you know, also we have to remember ourselves, but also remind everyone watching, like that means there's sellers in the game too. Yeah. You know, that's great. There could be mortgage demand through the roof, but if there aren't sellers engaging in listing their houses, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So the other side of this is, are there sellers showing up? And the data is already showing that, the sellers already started showing up in December. And then you also see that we're going to talk about price cuts have become less and less price cuts. You see housing values stay the same or going higher, like you're talking about, and more listings come into the market. So it seems like everyone's kind of agreeing it's time to play ball again. Let's all circle back up.
The crash is not coming, Andy.
Markets. Let's start.
The crash is not coming. We're not seeing.
Wait, what
crashes.
Crash?
Yeah,
what crash?
Exactly.
What crash?
Yeah, but
the only crash was the volume.
The volume.
Oh yeah, there you go.
All right, guys. Right. Mortgage rates, inventory, and demand rise as price cuts fall. This sounds like the other one, but it's a little bit different. This is coming from Housing Wire. Housing inventory, new listing data, and mortgage rates are all rising, but the price cut data percentage is falling. So the price cut data, for everyone who's new to this show or new to this piece of data, every house that is listed that sells or closes for less than the list price is a price cut. Yeah. That price cut could be $10. Okay, that qualifies as a price cut. The normal range for that is 30 to 35% of listings experience a price cut. In 2023, it was outside the boundaries of that at 36.2%. So it was a little bit more price cuts than normal in 2023. But the projection for 2024 is that only 32% of listings are going to have price cuts.
Okay.
That is statistically like 12% or something better. That's a lot. And getting to the lower side of that normal range is not only just historically normal, but like healthy normal.
Yeah.
So what we're looking at is that the inventory bottom for 2022 was only 240,000 listings, but the peak for 2023 was 569,000 listings. And for context, they threw this in. Active listings for the same week in 2015,
933,
9 years ago, is 933,000.
Yeah,
so
almost double the inventory.
Almost double the inventory of what we saw in 2023, and easily triple and a half of this 2022 number. So here's what I want to discuss, is when all these things are happening together, which one is going to drive the train forward? What do you think it is? Is it the inventory coming back? Is it the price cuts that are softening and meaning people go, oh, okay, well, there's no crash coming? Or is it mortgage rates? What would you say is the leader?
The leader is going to definitely, for me, be inventory.
Okay.
Because
Why?
If there's no inventory, that means the prices stay the same or the prices hold. Now, at the same time, if rates do deflate, that's something that the market and the economy takes care of, not the home prices. But we also need the clients, and I mean sellers, to take action to put their house on the market to be able to have more inventory. And I feel that that's what it's coming to because of the fact that rates are dropping. It's giving them the confidence to jump onto the market. So I feel that the more that we see more inventory, the more it's going to get positive.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So
what would you say?
So right now, obviously, it's the reason for it is if the interest rates do drop, that's just there's not going to be price cuts. There will be, but not as many as we saw before.
Yeah.
Right. If there was more inventory, like there was in 2015, then we're going to see price cuts for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
if the market gets flooded, yes, there's going to be price cuts.
Correct. Now, here's my question, guys: is are we going to see this again? Are we going to
see what this? What do you mean?
900 plus homes on the market on a monthly basis like we used to?
No, I think it's going to be around $750,000, and I'll explain it now because I'm glad it's a perfect segue, man.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't write that down, did you?
No, I'm just thinking because I like that number. I remember being always busy, right?
Here's why. Here's why. I think what we're seeing right now coming out of quarter 4 2023 and with all of the month of January's data kind of already locked in is you're seeing the pretext to what the spring and summer is going to look like. So I think in the spring and summer, if sellers are like, oh, I wasn't going to sell in 2023, rates are high, price cuts, whatever, even when maybe they didn't even know that. Okay, but hang with me here. If I'm looking at this information now and I'm trying to go like, oh, I got to move next summer. Well, now next summer is looking pretty good because in about 6 months from now, if housing prices have stabilized or increased and rates stay low, that means affordability is back and buyers are starting to bid against each other. What's that mean for me as a seller? Yeah. What's my house price going to do?
Go
up,
list,
right? Which then answers his question, or which is his thing, which is inventory is going to drive it all. So I think inventory is definitely a big player in this. Interest rate's a big player, but I definitely see that this is the pretext for a very strong inventory in spring and summer.
I also think that everybody collectively is like, well, hey guys, it's not getting any better. Houses, there's no inventory. It's not going to crash. So let's all just let's play.
Yeah, let's play.
Let's play.
If you can't beat them,
join them. So I think that's literally it.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. Like, let's say you have to sell your house. What are you waiting for? Now, you might be waiting to retire, waiting for your kids to move out, waiting for this or waiting for that. Okay, maybe there's a milestone or something important happening. But if you're waiting for like a market condition for selling your house, what else are you waiting for? Buyer demand is back. Rates have gone low. Prices have stabilized. Unless you have like a terrible listing that's falling apart, going down a hill. What else are you waiting for to happen before you decide it's the right time?
Yeah.
It's like when
I don't know.
It's like when rates were at 2.25, they're like, no, we want them to go to 0 for you to buy. God.
Yeah. Can I get a 1%? 1%?
And then, fast forward 2 years later. Yeah, no, I know. That's why. And then fast forward 2 years later, damn it, I should have bought when the 2.5 was there. Now I got a 7.
It's funny when rates are at 2.5, people are like 4, get out of here. Now if you tell someone
please,
4,
let me just get that one back.
You know what?
Please, all day long.
I'll take 5. Yeah. 5 is better than 6.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But I think in a broad spectrum, if you do look at it from rates, from back from the 50s when they started, taking track of it, this is not that bad. Yeah. It's just the income and the house prices that haven't gone up since then.
All right, so I'm gonna keep score on this one. We're all gonna answer this question, guys.
Right.
So, do you think that there will be more inventory than $750,000. So I'm setting the market at $750,000. No. So this question is in alignment with the $750,000. Do you think we will see more listings than that or less listings than that? When we look back at this months from now, will we see more or less than that $750,000 number?
I'm going to say less.
Memo says less. Okay, I'm writing it down. Memo says less. Brian, you say less or more than $750,000?
I'll just go against. I'll say more.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Go for it.
All right. And I'm
make it interesting.
Make it interesting.
I'm going to have to decide as well because I am posing the question. I did put the number out, but I actually think it is going to be more as well.
Okay, cool.
There's another reason.
Yeah. My guess was just based off there's no factual data here.
I think here's what I'm going to say. I think you're right in being conservative about that.
Yeah.
But I think what's happening is that attitude and sentiment has totally changed.
Yeah.
Right already. I can tell. I can feel it. And, when people look at the numbers of the mortgage industry in 2021 and 2022, you're like, oh, everyone had their best year ever. Oh, then you look at 2023, everyone's lost 90% of their business. Okay, whatever. Maybe some people lost.
That's what 60. It felt like.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Well, fine, but whatever. Here's my point: is if our business triples in 2024. And that is the waterline of everyone else, then we will have seen a massive comeback because here's the deal. We're not that far off from that number numerically.
Yeah. And I saw that. You're at 569,000.
Yes.
Right? Well,
yeah.
570.
That was the inventory peak. But if you look at the amount of active listings month over month, week after week, they're going up by 5%, 6%. So in this section where the new listings data is at, it says 2024 week over week from this week last year to this week this year. It's up by 5% already, and it's the third week of January. Okay. So by the time this airs, it'll be the fourth week of January. But at the time of this recording, you guys, the week over week is already up 5%.
Yeah.
So even just a 5% increase, let's say per annum, annually on this is still going to be 25,000 more homes on average per month. I think we're going to see a lot more than that. Mathematically, I understand what I just said is super crazy because that doesn't make sense statistically, but I think volume is going to tell the story.
Yeah. I mean, how are we going to get this volume?
People are going to want to sell and have to sell.
Yeah.
Here's why. We haven't talked about this, and I didn't have this in my notes. People are going to silently suffer their financial consequences of their own personal decisions and behavior if they've been overspending. We've already been talking about other shows, people doing HELOCs to do debt consolidation. Credit card debt is going through the roof. You have highest car payment, like the percentage of car payments over $1,000 is the highest it's ever been. Whether people sell that car and it's underwater or they sell that car and just buy it off and have cash, pay off student loans, whatever it is, you guys, we're already seeing a behavior set that's coming and asking us to help them get money out of their equity, whether it's a home equity line or a cash out. Yes, even right now.
Yeah. And that is the behavior right now. It's like, let me borrow now and pay later.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. There's silent NODs happening, which again, I don't have an article on this today, but the silent NODs are already happening. And what I can't figure out yet is why aren't these people just selling their house versus going through the default process if they have tons of equity?
They have a tenant that doesn't want to leave.
So I got a few examples. I'm like, shoot, which one should I tell you about?
It's funny because we just got a client that was referred to us, and that's the situation.
I know. Conditionally, I know that
crazy.
Is some of those, but I'm saying that there's a lot of other NODs that are very silently making their way in and through the process of being listed by a local agent. And some of what I've been hearing murmurings of, it's for people who have lost jobs, but in industries where their industry isn't coming back. It's either not coming back to this town or it's not just coming back at all. It's being consolidated in general. And I think that is also going to bring new listings that aren't just the seller saying, oh, I want to sell. They're going to be people, I have to sell. I have to sell.
So something I spoke about last year is that we still didn't see massive layovers and
layovers or layoffs.
Layovers.
There's a ton of layovers.
Sorry, I need my midday. I need my midday layover.
Hey, listen, the whole airplane conversation right now is a mess, but we won't go down that road. Go for it.
Anyways, layoffs. So I don't think we've seen much layoffs just yet, and I think that might still be something that is a catalyst in 2024. Even though, in December, consumer spending went up, so they're not budging either. So.
Yeah, spending went up just as in proportionate to credit card spending.
0.3%.
Yeah.
But credit card spending went up too. So, thanks for answering the question, guys. I think that, I think your conservative answer is probably going to be the right one.
I know it is.
I'm
I know it is.
We're going to have to come back to this.
I'm optimistic that we're going to see more inventory. But
I don't know.
All right. Well, we're going to go to the next article because it kind of weaves into the one we're just on, talking about the Fed. And, not all of the Fed members agree. Mortgage rates tick up ahead of the FOMC meeting. Now, again, recording date, air date. This is going to air on the date of the decision, January 31st, when the Fed concludes their 2-day meeting. So we are recording this before that. But, basically everyone's kind of saying, okay, the Fed has to cut rates. Well, do they really? How many should they do? There's a lot of dissenting opinion on how many. Yeah. And here's the real deal is when do they start? Should they start right now? Should they start in March, April, May? What do you guys think?
I mean, this is a balancing act that they keep playing on. They have to.
It is a circus. Yes.
It is. It really is. It's like you don't know which way to go.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think they're going to start cutting rates in March, April, or May?
I think they're going to listen to, all the financial analysts and all that stuff that I've been asking them, like, come on, Fed, you got to start cutting down. I think they're going to listen and see where we're going, especially now that, inflation's kind of started dropping. I think that's going to put the Fed in a position where, okay, let's try it out. Because it could always go up.
So I know they're going to listen. I agree with you on that. When do you think they're going to make their first cut? March, April, or
that's
May?
A good question.
When do you think they're going to make their first cut?
You know what? I think if they make the first cut, I'm going to say it's going to be around April.
That's what I was going to say. Dang
yeah.
It. All right. So April
just
for you
March,
and me.
March for the history that I've seen March is always.
I have a nerd answer. Here's my nerd answer. I think they're going to do it in April because they're going to have an entire quarter's worth of data in 2024. January, all they're looking at is quarter 4 data. They already have it. They already know it. They're not going to do anything. Yeah. There's no reason or urgency. Honestly, I think if they did it in January, they'd probably be like signaling, we have a problem that we haven't told you about. Oh, there's a problem we haven't told you about. I think that'd be the reaction. March, I think there's wait to get the first quarter data. You might as well. What's another 6 weeks? I think the answer's coming in April. We're going to see our first rate cut.
That's where it is.
What do you think, Brian?
I think I'm right with you. You made a good point saying that they're
after I sold him the idea.
You sold him
I'm sold.
Wow, Andy,
makes sense.
Where's your why?
Yeah.
So no, I think that makes sense. Like when you said that you'll have a full quarter of data, I think that's true because if they come out of the bat, right now, make a move. I think that might, break things. And I think they need to get more information to really make a decision. But they're on the hot seat. And I don't think they know what they're going to do. And there's going to be literally a gameplay decision. But at the same time, I think April. Because,
it still gives them plenty of time to achieve this like 5 or so. Who was floating 5 or 6? Someone was floating like 5 or 6 rate cuts. I'm like, what? Every freaking meeting you gonna do one? No, not gonna happen. I think it's probably gonna be 3 to 4. If they start in April, it still gives them plenty of time to kind of get through the summer and then see what quarter 2 looks like. And again, not going to get into and dive into the politics of it all, but there are politics of this thing where they don't really want to rock the boat during an election season. Or if they are getting political pressure, they're going to be doing it in the favor of making things look better leading up to the election day. So,
but to William's point, on the inventory, right here it says, but inventory is still likely to remain an issue for homebuyers this year. Caution Lisa Sturvant, can't pronounce her name, chief economist at Pratt MLS. To stay within budget, buyers will have to talk through trade-offs and compromises with real estate professionals who understand local market conditions. So I think that you're going to be right, but I still stick with the optimistic. But it's going to be a tough year. Same thing. They're not going to be able to build enough houses. And I don't think, there's enough sellers to put all their houses up in the market to still be able to, compete with all the demand. But it is going to be a struggling year. And my thing is that I feel people just need to get into their investment and wait it out a little bit, get that equity, and then be able to use this as a stepping stone to then get to your primary or the investment that you want. Because at least, you can hedge against rising rent prices, and you can, have a fixed payment, wait it out, refinance down the line, and be able to use that as a stepping stone to get to where you want to be.
Well, one of the things that was quoted here in the article from the Freddie Mac chief economist was he was saying, given the stabilization in rates, potential homebuyers with affordability concerns have jumped off the fence back into the market. Like he's stating the same observation that we are, and he's saying it from the the chief economist seat at Freddie Mac. And that's these two things together I wrote down here to share with you guys. It's behavior and math.
That's behavior and math.
The math is allowing them, the behavior is pushing them. And, again, I understand why people in the comments are like, oh, this is a terrible time to buy a home. Yeah, maybe for your situation, that's fine. Maybe for me, it's a terrible time to buy a house. But maybe not. Because if I'm going to go and buy a place and hold it and then put it in my trust and let my kids have it, and then in 30 or 40 years, it's worth 3 times as much, I'm not going to look back and think, oh, wow, I really shouldn't have done that in January 24.
Absolutely. No, and hey, thank you for the comments, but everybody's, where they're at, their city, the state that they're in, it's very different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, we see the sales. I just used an example earlier, 91913, where I bought my first house, and then I went, a few years later, I bought a 91914, and the difference in And they're like right here.
Yeah.
It's like a mile and a half.
Yeah.
No, about 2 mile.
They're really close.
2 mile radius.
Different zip codes and
Within
completely
5 miles
different
for
pricing metrics.
But
yeah.
and these are the things. That's why for a lot of people, those little things could actually already sway your decision. And so a lot of times, get into real estate. It's all about doing your due diligence, making sure that you got that right realtor that's going to understand the zip codes, the differences, et cetera, and just kind of position, what is it that you're looking for? Where do you want to be at? Where do you want to raise your family, et cetera? And then you make that determination based on those things.
100%, yeah.
I'm glad that it was Freddie Mac saying that, so I could go, hey, it's behavior and math, because we've been talking about that. The people that were just eliminated or I shouldn't say disqualified. They just the approval wouldn't go through because
they got math out
8%. Your $250,000 job doesn't afford that. Payment, but
crazy
at 6.5. Guess what? Boom, you're back in the game.
I mean, guys, you remember people were making 70, 80,000, and would be like, "Oh, they're getting a house, no problem."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now you're even leering with 150, 200,000.
I know. Isn't that crazy though? Like take take that into context. I mean, we started this in 2005. And in the last 18, now coming on 19 years, it's like $100,000 used to mean something.
Yeah.
$150,000 used to mean something.
I mean, we're talking about 2014, 15, 16. It was still there. You made
even then too.
80,000. It was really good.
Should have been born 15 years earlier.
Now it's like, how many hamburgers can you get with when they're costing like $20, right? Like,
I went to McDonald's the other day, spent $20 on 3 things. I was like, what the I came here because I didn't want to spend money.
Yeah.
Nope.
Stick to the dollar menu.
There is no dollar menu anymore.
There isn't no more? Oh my God. That's how much I do shopping.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the part about staying within budget.
It's the value menu. Sorry.
Yeah, the value menu is still $20. I'm glad you brought up the point about staying within budget, but talking through trade-offs and compromises. So again, this goes hand in hand with the whole behavior comment and the math. It's like, cool, the math works now. What kind of compromises are you willing to make? And I'm not talking about compromises of like, oh, you're buying a place without heating and a roof. I'm talking about like, oh, okay.
Supposed to have that.
Oh, the paint color sucks. Oh, you don't like the carpet or you hate the tile. Fine, those are all things you can fix.
The cabinets, stuff like that.
Yeah, but the compromises, I want everyone to understand, like the compromises don't necessarily mean you're going to have to deal with things that like no one should have to deal with. These are like really preferences, I would say.
The compromise is like, hey, you're just going to have to adjust your living situation for a couple of months. Maybe, stop doing date night every other day and, just adjust yourself to being able to.
Every other day. Man, that sounds awesome. I would do date night every other day.
One of the things, shifting here, one of the things I like best of this article here is at the end where it says, in January, builder confidence came in strong. Well, of course.
On the strength of declining mortgage rates.
Of course.
Wow.
Well, guys, they're controlling it as a builder right now.
Inventory.
This is heaven.
Great.
This is like heaven for them right now.
They got a blank canvas.
Yeah, like anything they build right now, like they.
Tell remember what I wrote here.
They wait. Oh wait. They waited, and it will pay off.
They waited, and it will pay off. That's exactly what happened.
It's like this is great for them.
Yeah,
this is so good for them.
Hey, every seller's like this. I mean, every builder
around the tree.
Yeah. They're getting in. And, here I go with the supply of homes also with all of this because social media and everything that's doing, like everybody's buying homes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's like the new thing, right? Yeah. And so remember, when they go in there and they negotiate, they're wholesaling, they don't put those houses up on the market.
Right. Right. They're not hitting the MLS. Right.
Correct. They're not hitting. So that's data that you're not going to see. So that's why I'm saying like everything that I see that I'm around, and because I'm also an investor with that, it's like these things don't hit the market. I'm going to buy it straight from the owner,
right. Yeah,
at a discounted price, right? Because hey, I see how much work is going to go in there, so I'm going to offer a discounted price versus you going in there, put in the MLS. A lot of times, it's probably best that you did do that, anyways.
Yeah, it's like the inverse.
Yeah. So I just think that all those numbers, we really don't see them. So it's like
skewed data.
Big time. And 2020, oh my God, that messed with us. That's totally what got everybody, hey, social media. So you could do it from home. You can buy here in another state. And guess what? You can.
A lot of people did that.
It's crazy because, you make a great point. I didn't know about wholesaling. Well, I did, but it wasn't popular like it is now.
Oh.
No.
You see everybody, all you got to do is get a phone, call this, get a list from your escrow agent, get it under contract, and then sell it, get an escrow, and then get paid.
Done.
And I'm like, oh, okay, wait.
Yeah.
So then,
I'm
quitting my job.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it is. No. So that's why. But okay.
No, that's good. But I'm glad you made that point.
Yeah.
I wrote that note pre-show. I was like, they waited and it will pay off because it will.
Guys, it's paying off.
They're going to cash in.
It's paying off. Down here, like in our area, it's a lottery.
Oh, I know.
It's a lottery.
Yeah. So people outside our area, do you understand? Like the lottery, what he's talking about is you're going to get picked if you can buy the house or not.
Yeah, you have to go still to be placed in that lottery. You have to get qualified to get the loan with their in-house lender. Yeah. And then you better cross your fingers and your toes and pray to the acceptance gods that they accept your offer.
They pick your name out of a hat. Yeah. I mean... Yeah.
So if you believe in that little foot, the bunny rabbit foot thing, gives you good luck.
Rabbit's foot right now?
Rabbit's foot, yeah.
Rabbit's foot on the show? Okay.
Hold on to that thing.
Well, the lottery. If you are also living in an area that has a lottery, drop your city name and zip code in the comment box. I am very curious to know where else this is happening. So for us, it's happening right here in 91913 Chula Vista, California. I'm going to put that in the comment box, but you tell us where is it you live, and is there lotteries happening at developers and home builders in the town you live in?
You know what would be another cool one is what kind of incentives are they giving?
Oh, that's a great one.
Because there's one right here, $29,000.
For what? For closing costs or
closing costs?
No, I mean for like to use on the house for upgrades or what?
You can use it however you want, right? When it's given to you $29,000. You can use it for closing costs, buy down your rate, etc. In this case,
I didn't know if it was conditional.
Yeah, in this case, it was really bad for our client because I can't give a $29,000 credit like the builder can.
Well, right.
But anyways, what they were using is $24,000 to buy down the rate.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, and $5,000 is going to go to the closing costs. I go no. Leverage, increase your interest rate so you don't have to buy the rate because you're going to refinance in 8 months when rates cuts the rate, and then you could actually do a rate and term refinance. And now you could spend that difference instead of that $24,000 into paying all your closing costs.
Yes.
So there's actually ways that you can actually maneuver through this.
Yeah, and I think in the time frame you're spreading, you're putting on the table here, that spread of that is actually going to be
$250 a month difference.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Going from that 5.5 because it was $750,000. Don't fact quote me on this, okay? But I think it was like $250, $280. But it was way worth it. $280
that's what
times.
I'm saying. Let's use $250. Let's just say $250 for easy math. $250 is you're gonna, and $24,000. That's 40. That's 96 months.
Yeah, correct.
So you have 96 months before you've actually tilted it against your favor to figure it out, let the market give you a better rate and refinance.
Yeah. So that's what I calculated too.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
I just did the easy one. The 250 times 9 months.
Hey, and then we'll. Yeah. Same, I agree.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah, good.
All right, guys. Last article of the day. High costs and emotions are driving age-in-place preferences. This one also from Housing Wire. Now, this addresses the generation that is ahead of us. One generation ahead of us. Will and I.
I'm not going to say my age. I'm still in the.
No, that's why I'm including you. I'm including you. I'm including you.
He gets all quiet during that one. He's all like,
I'm including you in this generation. No
that was last week. No Riz.
No Riz talk. Facts, no cap.
Yeah, facts.
So this is talking about how more and more older Americans want to age in place in their own homes as opposed to living in dedicated care facilities.
Yeah.
So I made a comment earlier in the show about how part of behavior for buyers coming back is behavior and math. This is straight up behavior. This is what people's preferences is. They're like, this is how I want to live the last great years of my life, and I'd rather, let's be honest, pass away in my house than pass away at some other place that isn't mine.
Yeah.
So I think behavior is driving this 100%, maybe even affordability. But this is going to create a lot of demand for in-home care services. I mean, there already is that, but I mean, it's going to skyrocket.
I mean, Andy, I'm living that. My father-in-law.
You're already getting care services?
Not me personally, but I did the ADU. I did the ADU, and I wish I didn't have to go through it, but I'm experiencing firsthand this situation. Father-in-law's in bed, and luckily I was able to do an ADU. They live there, and so now we can help, my mother-in-law and to help care for our father-in-law. But it's happening. It's happening more and more and more. So we are seeing it quite a bit.
What I wrote down for that is I wouldn't want to go to a facility either.
No.
Right.
And I mean, I think why would you? I mean, if you want to stay there, you're the last couple of years, your house is there. I get it. Maybe but if you're old, why would you want to move? And your family, if they could keep you there, I get it. There might be circumstances where it doesn't allow you, the taking care. They don't have somebody to look over for them. And same thing, it goes back to circumstances. If they don't have nobody to care for them, nobody to be there, to attend to them, then, unfortunately, the only option is to...
I mean, Brian, Andy, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
When he was at the hospital, right, you can only have 1 or 2 people in there.
Yeah.
So we'd have to go in there. The other person that was there has to get out because I have the rules and regulations. There's other patients that you share their same room with, and so and we're working, and to drive to a certain place, it makes it difficult.
Yeah.
But when they're at home, you're like, okay, you remember that. So they're pretty nearby, and usually your parents live near you. So the tendencies of you being able to visit and all that, it's much easier for you. So I think this makes perfect sense.
And I think it's a little bit more easier to ask to control. Like, if you have family members, they could come instead of going to a random facility that's, miles away. But
Well, I think part of it is there's going to be a split between people who need advanced care services for like Alzheimer's, dementia, special nursing, like in-home nursing type care. Some of those are available, of course, in your own house. But I will also say that from personal experience, with my own grandmother being in a dementia care home, her care required 24 hours a day, which sometimes the people that live with you in your house don't have the 24 hours a day. They're also working during the day. So you can have someone come into in-home care during the day when you're at work, doing your career to pay for the mortgage and do their care. But also, if someone does need 24-hour care for dementia or Alzheimer's, that's a very different situation. The lady mentioned in this article was saying that the preference to age in place is rooted in emotion and familiarity that's likely to be lost by moving to another environment. And I think a lot of that, and go back to the dementia, like the environment matters a lot. Like things are familiar. True. But also, if your physical needs exceed the comfort level, there's got to be another choice. Yeah. But I completely understand why this is the case, and there is a tsunami of in-home care growth to come because of this.
We got to remember, guys, what generation owns the most homes and has the most equity?
Yeah, the baby boomers. Percentage-wise, it's baby boomers.
And so that's why I'm also saying, based on this article, we're talking about, the inventory levels increasing.
Great point.
That's why I'm still kind of sticking with that number, the 750 and under, because of this as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point.
So more and more people are like, I'm going to stay here. Yeah. I'm going to try to figure it out. I'd rather have a caregiver come into my own home, which, again, we're talking about familiarity. It's crazy when my father-in-law was at the hospital. Like, it was just crazy, the stuff that he was saying, the way he was thinking. It was just like, man, what's going on?
Well, interesting.
That plays a huge role. I mean, you're in the hospital. Your mindset's like, if you're at a hospital, you're nothing positive comes out of coming to a hospital in that situation. So it's like that might be like, like this is my last. Yeah.
So then we have him back home. Fast forward 3 weeks later, like it's like night and day. You're like, oh, you're back. It's kind of like, what happened? And now you're back, which is. It's so fulfilling and I'm just glad that we're able to do that.
Yeah. And it goes back to like what we were talking about the podcast earlier with Tanya, that your environment does matter because you start listening to certain things, and whether you like it or not, it starts tainting you. So it's like, as much as you try to repel, eventually it starts seeping in.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Well, so I like that they brought this in this article because, again, that they're the biggest generation. They're the biggest ones that have the most equity ever built in any other generation thus far. So this was really good, and it just made me okay. We're in the right place. I get it.
Yeah, and there's always going to be a variety of needs. People do or don't do this. They do stay in place and age in place. And for some people, moving to a care facility might make their life more difficult. If you have a single-story house and now the care facility has stairs, or maybe it's got an elevator, of course. So they have service staff that's going to help you, but maybe it's just not as comfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe some of these people have lived in their home for 30 years, 40 years. Like that's their forever home. And that used to be the way. Like you buy a home, you keep a home. Now, yes, we've been in the mortgage and real estate industry for a long time and have greatly benefited from people interacting and exchanging in the economy of real estate, such as baby boomers have too. But there are a large percentage of them that were like, you just buy the house and you keep it. And you don't ever do anything with it, and it'll be there for your kids. And it was part of the whole American dream, and you have leaving legacy and leaving inheritance and all that. And I completely understand that reason for why the age in place would be popular, or at least I'd say attractive.
Yeah, correct. I mean, a lot of those old tradition roots are just rooted right in there, and that's what they blah. That's where they stick. They're still the ones where I'm going to go in, I'm going to have dinner.
Plant my roots, nuclear family.
I'm going to still just put my $1 tip right there.
Yeah.
Not realizing inflation, right?
And it's crazy how the difference of generations, where the young generation that we were speaking about last 2 weeks ago, we're looking at it like, yo, how can I get in this house and then in a couple of years max out my investment and take it somewhere else?
Absolutely.
Without altering or adjusting the way that my life is. Because if my life changes, then I don't want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Convenience.
So,
and it's true. You're coming at the younger generation. They're not looking at long term.
I'm not going to build a family.
Everything's short term. Everything's like, how do I benefit from this? How am I able to keep this and then go on to my next one and buy my next one and not sell anything?
Yeah.
That's actually, you're right. You bring up that point. Most young kids, that's where we're at right now.
And I give, I accredit to a lot of the social media things that they make it easier for you to understand, have these options, be able to learn more. But at the same time, take it with caution. Connect with an engine, somebody that's actually doing it, that's been doing it. That's going to be your best route. But I just feel that as a younger generation, we're more savvy in the way that we want to move, rather than say, hey, I'm going to be here for 10 years. Yeah, but those 10 years, I'd rather do 5 and get out, get a new house, do something else, invest on that. And I think that's going to be, a way that, real estate changes into the future and how people transact.
Yeah, good disclaimer. Good disclaimer. Make
disclaimer.
sure you look at everything, because it's social media portrays to be one way when it may not be.
Especially to the younger generation, we do this day in, day out, so we're actually in the trenches. Like on social media, it's very easy to get swayed by something that it's going to be very easy. Do your due diligence. Nothing in real estate is easy. It takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and consistency. Risk. And even then, sometimes you don't get the results you want. But
because most of the time we're not posting on social media our defeats, our losses.
There's challenges every day.
I won again. Hey,
there's challenges every day.
Hey, I'm driving this Lambo. I just rented it, but we're not saying
social media doesn't know that.
Not saying it, but saying it.
We get it, but no, totally love this article. I think I'm 100% with it, and I agree with it.
I think we're going to see a lot more of this. I think this topic will carry through 2024 because it kind of is a transition, not a transition. The transition's already been happening, but there's more and more that are retiring every single day, every single month. It's like tens of thousands of people. And so I just think this is going to be a booming industry. We should probably actually have an in-home care specialist on Friends of Mortgage Heroes.
Oh, yeah.
So that'd be good.
Quick,
you know anybody?
Yeah.
We know.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug for our other show called Friends of Mortgage Heroes. Every Friday we have a show comes out with our friends in and around mortgage and real estate that have to do with real estate and services that are provided third party, and we get to have some great conversations. And I think that we should have someone on here to talk about this. I actually have a friend who does care placements, and I will invite her to come to the show and talk with us about this.
There you go.
Thank you guys for a great show. What was a favorite part of your show today?
My favorite, again, it's going against you guys. I can't wait till April comes. So now I can't fast forward that to just make you guys look like you got to pay attention to your stuff. No. I'm kidding.
Behind cameras, we all.
Andy is the professor, as you guys can see. But no, I'm just interested to see what's going to start happening once the Fed starts, cutting back. I'm just like want to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be rare.
That's what I'm anxious
really
about.
Interesting. How about you? What's the favorite part of the show today?
I'm excited that people are getting excited and they're starting to come out and starting to really see, hey, I got to take this sacrifice, look at it as an investment, and don't hold yourself back. And you're starting to see a lot of people. I get a lot more buzz starting the year of like, hey, I want to get ready. I want to start doing this. So people want to buy. People want to get ready. It's just, goes back to encouraging them, motivating them, and then making it easy for them to take that first step. I'm excited that I feel that this year is going to be a lot more positive than 2023. There's still going to be there's struggles. Every year has them, but a way better outlook than if we sat here January of 2023 saying this.
Yeah, and before I ask you, but to your point, when I first bought my first property, I thought it was about $1,800, and I had, my 3 kids. I thought it was like, how am I going to do this? How is it going to happen? Yeah. Honestly, I was over stressing, and then for some reason, it wasn't like a plan, right? It's kind of like we're planning when you're going to get pregnant. We're planning when we're going to go on a trip. I'm not that kind of person. I just go and do it. Oh, I saw the house. I see how it looks. And I think most people are like that. They see the property. Now I'm ready to get approved.
Yeah, that's
right. Now I'm ready to kind of take that next step, right? Oh, I carried a baby. I see how good it feels. I'm having a baby now.
But slow down on that one, guys. Full disclaimer.
So what I'm actually saying is, just got out there and get it done. For some reason or another, the world always revolves and it conforms to, the lifestyle that we live with. That's what I'm saying is like after your 5th, 6th property, it just becomes easier. 10th, 12th,
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah,
it's just kind of like tying your shoes. You understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, much more familiar.
Sorry, Andy.
I had another analogy, but
On to the now, my favorite part of the show is having both of you guys on the show today.
Yeah.
Not to be overly sentimental, but I did a show with you. I did a show with you to start the year, and now we got our first show in the books together. Really excited about that. Thank you guys for being prepared. Thank you for being entertaining and informative.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. And also, I have to give you guys credit here on this show for the work you're doing on the other show. We have had a awesome guest list, and every single week a new guest comes out in a new industry with these great crazy stories, and you guys are doing such a good job. So thank you so much for working hard at this, working hard at that, and then also every single day working in the business to help people get into homeownership. I really, really commend you guys, and I am so impressed. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Andy. All we want to do is give back to our community. They do so much for us that we feel we can't do enough for them. So the way I look at it is, why not bring other people that can actually also give back? And I mean, these people are powerhouses in their industry.
Yes.
They're not just like, you can look them up and you're going to be like,
they hold their weight.
Whoa, they hold their weight,
Yeah.
And then also the reason I didn't come is because of this break.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
But it's getting better. Getting better. So you can count me in on the next ones. I don't know what excuse Brian had, but okay.
I was in Big Bear.
Oh.
What you mean?
All I'm gonna say,
damn.
I'm so glad the cameras don't pick up smell.
Yeah. Oh.
All right.
But yes, thank
2024, I'm looking forward to winning with everybody that we're in business with, that we help out. I am just I'm pumped. I'm excited this year. I have a whole new outlook, and I'm just ready to exert my energy out into you guys.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Well, thank you guys again for an awesome show this week. Thank you all for watching. Remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you catch every episode. And like the video and send the video to someone who you know and care about who might benefit from the information we discussed in today's show. And if you need help, of course, you can DM us. You can find our website through our About page on YouTube, or you can leave a comment and we will reply. Thank you guys so much for a great show this week. Thank you, everyone, for watching and tuning in. And we'll see you again next week.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
See ya.